Goody good as y'all. Goody good as y'all. Goody good as y'all. Goody good as y'all.
What's good, YouTube? This your boy back again, Rhythm and Smoke. You know where it is. So we back in the garage, man. I know I ain't kept y'all up to date, so I just been living life, you know what I'm saying, and doing my thing. But I'm now back on working on the race car. It is nice and warm outside, so we're back in car season. I got the little things, you know, to do on the race car, and I got some plumbing I just got in the mail today. So we're gonna get that stuff installed today and work on it. So here's what we got. So this is what we got in the mail today. Came in the mail. So we got a return flange for the turbo, T-bolt, T-bracket for side of the oil block to, or side of the block to feed the oil to the turbo. So oil feed lines, some coolant lines. With that being said, that must mean that we got a turbo in the mail. So let's move on over here. I'll show you what we're working with. This is my new GTX3076R in its glory. So I used to run a GT3076R on my old P-Tuning Spec RS turbo setup. This is the SS manifold. As you can see, it is a single wastegate. Now my old setup was a twin wastegate. You know, I had sold that setup not because I wanted to, but because I had to, and trying to get back to a P-Tuning setup now. So you can see, it's hard to find an RS spec manifold setup because they don't make them anymore, but we pulled this off the donor car. It had the SS setup on it, and I just bought me a new turbo. So this came in the mail also, which is the adapter for the feed line. We're gonna get this plumbed up. Here is the oil sending unit. That's where I need to put the T block at and plug that in so it can feed oil into the turbo. And then here's the back side. So we're gonna have to pull this off. I had put it install it just to mock up, you know, just to see how great it's gonna look on the car, and have to pull it all off so I can now get the new plumbing plumbed in. But as you can see, I've been working on it. You know, my old intercooler pipes were red. The donor car had black intercooler pipes on it, so still gonna look good. The black and red. The car is really black and red. So, all right, folks. So we're sitting here and go ahead and taking off the manifold. As we get the manifold pulled off here, I'm gonna go to grab me a towel there and give me some space so I can sit this manifold on the ground. I don't want to get too much debris, no dirt. Just gonna go ahead and pull this off here as we set this aside. So this is going to give me enough space. I could just, you know, install everything while it's still on the car, but you know, it's much easier to go ahead and just pull it off and work with it from there. So I'm going to go ahead and get these bolts taken out. Like I said, the Spec SS manifold is I think it's a T3, T4 flange, whereas the not older, but the other version, which is the RS, the P-Tuning RS setup that I used to have, was a V-band setup. Much more, you know, it's much preferred setup compared to the SS setup, but like I said, I do not have that manifold at this time. I do plan to get another one. Hopefully I can convince P-Tuning to make another one-off one for me, you know, since like I said, they don't produce those anymore. But so we're going to go ahead and get these bolts taken out, get this turbo pulled off so we can install the new plumbing for the oil feed and the oil return. Right now I'm putting on the coolant lines, better yet, taking them off right now because I needed to remove the washer. I had the washer on one side rather than putting them on both sides. So I'm going to move the washer from one side of the bolt and
put one on the side that the turbo is sitting on. So you see, as you look here, it'll feed the coolant lines will feed coolant from the engine block into the turbo, because once when you're on a track, you're generating a lot of heat. Um, we're pushing speeds of excess of 160 miles an hour, depending on what track you're on. When I was at Road Atlanta, I was on the back straight of Road Atlanta. That's the longest straight I've ever been on, and the car topped out around 155, 160 miles per hour before I had to brake and come into the 90-degree turn. As you can see, I'm have to get a smaller wrench to tighten up that feed line AN fitting. That's the the oil return flange right there. I got to get that installed onto the turbo on the backside there. So here I am, just moving things around. Just checking out what all I need to put on it. Like I said, I'm gonna have to loosen up these nuts so I can get a wrench in there to tighten up that AN fitting for the oil feed, and then we'll be able to install the turbo back on. Right now, go ahead and install the T-block, which is going to split the distribution of oil coming circulating through the engine. It's going to split some of that oil from the sending unit and splice it into that flow so it can deliver oil to the turbo. Turbos need oil just like any other part needs oil. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and take these fittings and adjust them, because they were installed like they were. I had to flip them around. So that's the oil sending unit that I am screwing into the T-block. Got to take off this other fitting. That's the fitting that's going inside the block right now. So I had to take the silver AN fitting off and move it to the bottom, which is going to be the port that uses to send the oil to the turbine. Yeah, I'm trying to get this screwed in there. Wrong fitting. Got to make sure you test it. Just testing and see which one goes in which. Making sure that both sides have the same thread pitch, so they're good to go. Either side you can put in, and now I'm just going to get there tightened up and tightened in. Get that twisted. It's just hand tightened for now.
Things we got to do left to do would be the intercooler, radiator, oil, all the good fluid stuff, and I got to get the injectors sent off to get those cleaned out. Most likely mail those off to fuel injector clinic and get those cleaned out and have them get sent back to me. Once that all that plumbing gets worked out, I should be able to fire the car up. So we're gonna be working on that, and just to catch you up to speed on some other project stuff I got going on. The 86, as you can see there in its glory, it's got a skunk tube header on it with an Ecotech tune, and that's been my daily driver, and it's been driving really good. I've been been running to some spirited driving on the interstate, so to speak. And then you got these are part of the racing team, the Rhythm and Smoke racing team over there, washing off the other race car. This is the donor car that we've been pulling parts off of. So we're gonna eventually get that back up and running, so we'll have another car to tinker with. So guys, so that's my video for today. I appreciate you sticking with me and rocking it out with me. So we're gonna get these things plumbed up, get it all buttoned up on the plumbing, and once all that stuff gets in the mail and bolted in, should be able to fire it up. So thanks for watching. That's my time. Peace.